What's up, everyone? Justin here. We're back for another round of CD nonsense. I hope everybody's enjoying these. I have managed to do a few dozen of them in a row, so hopefully it's going all right. We're in the E's of my CD collection. If anybody's new, I'm going through what I think is a decently sized CD collection. Mostly metal, with some other nonsense scattered in throughout. But let's get into it. So this round, I'm listening to Weltmacht Ancient Hatred Demo. This is the project band of Akhenaten from Judas Iscariot and Neil Imperial from Krieg singing. This came out in '99. I bought it shortly thereafter. This may be a bootleg, but I have had it pretty much since it came out. So it may be an early bootleg or just, I don't know if it's original or not. But I know Neil. I could ask him. He might know. Anyway, Weltmacht was very kind of grim black metal. Not as cold and as elitist sounding as Judas Iscariot, but it definitely, you can tell who's involved in this by listening to it. But it fucking rules. They did this in 2 albums, and this demo itself is just excellent. Weltmacht. Okay, so I assumed that this would happen sooner or later, but here we are. This is my band. And I have a bunch of my band CDs. This is my band, Enthroned. Now, Enthroned is me and my buddy Wayne. I play guitars and sing, and he plays drums. And Enthroned is really super doomy death metal, and that's kind of what we decided to go for when we started this. So a little history. I was playing in a band and he was playing in a band, and my band was going to play some shows in Texas, so we drove to Texas, and that's where Wayne lived, and we stayed with him for a couple of days to rehearse and then go play the show we had to play. Well, in rehearsing with my other band that Wayne is now in, well, that's a different story, me and him had been communicating back and forth and been playing with some projects back and forth. And I said, hey, I've got an idea. I want to do this kind of doom thing. Let's jam. So that night we jammed these 2 songs I had written that became, my idea was for it to be a demo, and then we scrapped the demo idea and just put out a 7-inch that we self-released. So that was our first release. And then it snowballed from there. You know, he recorded some... We've always kind of worked backwards. Wayne will record drums with no song in mind, no guitars to go by. He'll play, you know, what he thinks the song needs, and he'll record an entire song, and then I will sit down and I'll listen to the drums and I'll figure out what I want to play over it. I'll figure out the timing and the patterns, and I'll write the guitar parts to the drums. So there may be other bands that do that, but we've now done 3 albums and a bunch of other releases by doing that, and it works out really well. I enjoy it. I write differently listening to the drums than I would just writing guitars off the top of my head. And with Enthroned, there's a lot of improvisation involved, and it's unique. It's really, really unique. But into the CDs. So after we did that 7-inch, we put out our first record, which is Ritual Ascension Beyond Death. Beyond Flesh. Ritual Ascension Beyond Flesh. And this came out on Self-Made God Records. There. And Self-Made God, to this day, has released all of our albums. They've been really, really good to us. And this is the second press of that record. If you look here at the bottom, in this second little box that says bonus tracks, that's the demo 7-inch tracks. The first press of this CD didn't have those. And I have copies of that first press, but I don't have them in jewel cases. It's just the inserts and the CDs in a envelope. But so this is our first record. It's 8 songs, 7 songs of just really dreary death metal. And kind of the idea when I started writing Compilation and coming up with the thematic elements and the imagery. There's a picture of us playing live, which Compilation does play live. For those of you that don't know, we are very picky, choosy about when we play, and the two of us play live when we play. When we do play live, just the two of us play. There's bass and double guitars and all these, sound elements on the records, but live it's just guitars and drums. And kind of, when we started playing, one of the goals I wanted was to be really, really fucking heavy. And so we tune really, really low. I tuned to G sharp, 6-string guitar. And so it's really, really heavy to begin with, and there's lots of distortion. And then the last 10 years, I've kind of been chasing the tone via amps and pedals and trying to get the right tone for what we do. And I think I'm getting there. But we do play live. We play live occasionally. He lives on the other side of the country, so it's hard for us to get together. But when something falls into place, we like to do it. We've played MDF. We've played some other fests. It's been a lot of fun. Hopefully we're going to go to Europe next year. So then our next record is this one. Oh Hell, Shine in Thy Whited Sepulchres. There's a wordy title for you. Now, I have 3 copies of it here, but there's nothing different about any of these. This came out in 2011. The first one came out in 2009. I didn't mention that. This came out in 2011. And the only difference, if you look here, there's some color differences in these 2 presses. This one is really kind of washed out, and this one's a little darker. They're just different printings. This particular album on CD has probably been pressed 4 or 5 times. This has been pressed 4 or 5 times. So Self-Made God has been really awesome about keeping it in press. And every time he represses it, they will send me some copies. So I have a bunch of these. Now I keep some on my shelf in jewel cases, but I have many, many, many more. Just the unpacked elements, pieces put together in boxes. But so this one, I tried to expand everything that we did. I tried to write, creepier riffs and it has this old school kind of cut paste layout, but it's all shiny gold. Now the theme to Enthroned has always been death. That says, "Come, sweet death, be persuaded, O beautiful death." That's a line from a poem. I didn't write that. So around the time that I wrote all of the lyrics and everything for the Oh Hell record, I was beginning my career as a funeral director. So I was surrounded by death and dying a lot. And that is entirely what this record is about. The song's rites of ceremonial embalmment. That's kind of this weird metaphorical, allegorical walk through the embalming process via the lyrics. Ritual Until Blood is about draining blood from a body, which is something I have to do when I embalm. Crypt of His Communal Devourment is about interment and entombment. Washed and Buried refers to, there are some religions where the body's not embalmed, they're washed and they're buried. So this record is really, really, really conceptual. And there's some slight keyboards on it. There's some samples. Now this record has a lot of samples before and after the songs, like a band like Mortician would do. Even though we don't sound anything like Mortician. We're very, very, very slow. But this record thematically is more just about death and the metaphor of death and just evil stuff, nothing too pointed. But Oh Hell was really, really. I had a direct path when I was writing, and I really, really liked the way this record turned out. I spent a lot more time on it. I took a lot more care writing the riffs and refining things and layering guitars. There's lots of texture to it, but I'm really, really proud of it. This version is the label did this special plastic jewel case version. It has the same booklet in it, but it is a screen printed black jewel case with some extra art. But the problem with these black jewel cases is they're really, really fragile. And I got, out of all the copies I got, a couple dozen copies, all but like 5 of them were broken. So I kept one. Then we did our third record in 2014. This is 3-Hear Me O Death. And I named it 3 because it was our third record. I was trying to be funny there, I guess. And then with the first 2 records, these are old paintings. These are, public domain artworks that I can use without having to pay royalties. And both of them, of course, are very deathly and morbid looking. But when I decided to do the third record, this artwork was painted for us by a guy named Justin Whitmer. And it's a full length. The painting itself is like this big. It has the whole spinal column. And you can see that on a shirt we did. But this layout I'm really, really, really proud of. This picture of me in a cemetery. All of the texts on this record I hand wrote. I spent more time on the production of this record than probably anything I've ever done. The cover, if you can see the logo, is in a spot gloss. And the titles in a spot gloss printing. So when you look at it from afar, you can't tell that it's there. Now this record, Hear Me O Death, is more of a atmospheric. It's not about the dying process so much as it is about just morbidity. It's just a very morbid themed record. But this is by far my favorite material we've ever done. And we spent a long, long, long time recording it and writing it and refining it and adding texture to it. But I'm going to drop some links for everybody. I'll probably drop links from all 3 records. But I absolutely love this record. I'm very, very, very proud of it. And I hope that you guys like it. So then we also have a special black plastic jewel case version of the third record. This one's in silver print with special artwork. Same booklet inside. I'm not going to take it out of the little bag. Y'all know my feelings about CDs and bags. But this version, like the other one, these cases are really fucking fragile. They break really easily. So the last Enthroned CD I have is our newest release. This is called Necros Obscuritas. It's a compendium. It is songs from both of the full lengths. Tracks from splits and 7 inches we've done, and some live stuff. And it's got this really nice old school cut and paste logo or layout that I did. So if you ever want to pick some Enthroned up and you want to, it also has the logo and spot gloss on the front if you can see it right there. If you want to kind of check us out, this is a taste of everything. And this came out late last year. And I like the way it turned out. It's a nice little look at the first 10 years of the band. So, Enthroned, it's my band. I hope you like it. I'm sure some of you watch these videos because you like my band and you found them because of me. And that's awesome. But please check it out. Support us. And we will hopefully be playing somewhere near you one day. We'll see. So, I'm going to get through a few more CDs real quick. This is Encrimsoned, and it's Encrimson''D, Encrimsoned. This is Agrarian Menace. This is a black metal record that's really agriculturally themed. I think they're Polish or Czechoslovakian, or they may be American with Czech Lineage. This is a good record. This came out '04, and I got it then. I got it to review. There's the lyrics. It's just a good riffy black metal record, real ahead of its time. It's not like grim, cold, raw, black and white black metal. There's a lot going on. But I'm going to drop a link. It's hard to describe, but I've never heard another band like Encrimsoned. And I've never kept up with them after this, so I don't know if they've done anything else. But we'll check it out. If you guys know them, let me know. Ben, I think you'll like this band if you don't already know about them. Then we have Engulfed in Blackness with Ceremonial Equinox. Engulfed in Blackness is a death metal band from Tennessee that I've been in contact with for a few years. And they play just super, super killer Tampa area inspired death metal. Malevolent Creation, Deicide, Monstrosity, that early proto Tampa sound, Diabolic. And this shit is fucking killer. I love this band. Now, it's a little rough around the edges. It's got a drum machine. You got to get past that. But it's really, really, really fucking good. They have a new full length coming out soon that's even better. They play out a lot. I've never been able to catch them. But one day, hopefully, I'm going to be able to catch Engulfed in Blackness. I really, really fucking like them. Nobody knows about them. They're super underrated, but they're fucking awesome. Then, in the last video, I talked about Enslaved. I have the Emperor Enslaved split, and I mentioned I'm not a big Enslaved fan. This is the only thing I own. This is Mardrom, Beyond the Within. I blindly bought this when it came out in 2002, 2000. I said, oh, that's a black metal band. Let me get that. And I'm sure a lot of you are Enslaved fans, and this is not what I expected to be. It's good. This is the last, or one of the last, really like metal aggressive Enslaved records. And I like it, but I have not listened to it in years. But I always liked it, but I just never really, Enslaved never really clicked with me to make me want to care any more than this. But if I was in a record store looking through the used CDs and I found any Enslaved CD for a couple bucks, I'd buy it. Then we have, hold on, I'm missing a CD. Next, we have Enthroned. Enthroned are a Belgian black metal band, and they were one of the first black metal bands I ever got into in the late 90s. This is Reggie Sathanis. And I don't know this one as much. This was a tribute to their drummer who killed himself, Srenunos. My favorite Enthroned material is To the Skull Throne of Satan. And I don't know where it's at. But I've got some stacks of unalphabetized CDs that it may be in back there. But I listened to it recently, so it's either in my car somewhere. But that record, To the Skull Throne of Satan, I fucking love. It's a really cold black metal record. Early Immortal. It's real Norsecore. Dark Funeral's probably a good contemporary. And along with Secrets of the Black Arts, I got those around the same time. And just absolutely love this early Enthroned material. But I wish I had Skull Throne. I'd talk about it more. I don't know where it's at. Then, I talked about Wayne being in my band in Coffination. This is his band. This is Eternal Suffering. This was his early band from the 90s. And they were kind of an ethereal, atmospheric, romantic death metal band. This is their full-length, Drowning in Tragedy. And Wayne is really known in the past 15 years for being a drummer, but he was the singer on this. And this is just good, like mid-90s, New Jersey-style death metal. And then this is a Digipack re-release comp thing called Reflections Tragedy and Misery. I think that this CD, Drowning in Tragedy, is kind of hard to come by. But Wayne gave me these, and I've listened to them a good bit. But it's good, man. It's just good, just kind of solid, nasty, thick death metal. But I think that he kind of laughs it off these days, but I think it was good. Last, we have Evil with Hammerstorm. This came out on Werewolf Records. I've mentioned in a few videos that I one time was given a stack of Werewolf CDs from my buddy Nathan. And this is just good, just nasty, cold, grim black metal, man. I call it black and white black metal, because that's what it looks like. I think Evil have Pagan Front ties and NSBM ties. I'm not sure. But I don't fucking care. But this is just good, man. It's good, fucking riffy, nasty, cold front death black metal. Drop some links below. Alright, that's it for this round. I'm sorry I talked about my band for so long, but I knew it was coming. I had to do it sooner or later. Let's talk about these in the comments. The more you guys comment, the more you like, that's the more these videos get out there, and I want them to get out there. I want more people to see them. We need more subscribers, but you have to interact. So I love the comments, and I try to talk to everybody. So let's talk about these. Tell your friends, comment, like, subscribe. I'll talk to you guys later.